Okay. Hold on. I gotta fix my cam link, apparently. I don't know why that did that. I just set it up. Working on it. Stay with me. Don't go anywhere. Almost there. Oh my gosh. That's annoying. There we go. What is up, solo creators? Now that I got my camera working. Good Lord. I just set everything up. I just had it all working. I just had it all going. And then right as the stream starts, it stops working. So, yeah. Anyway, I guess it's the Veronavirus thing going around. So how y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. Wednesday night is or the Wednesday stream is about answering questions, talking about different things that are happening on the market today, things that are, whatever questions you might have as a solo creator, about equipment that I've been working on, reviewing the equipment that's coming on the market, like the new Canon R5. If you've got deep pockets and need a just unbelievable amount of resolution, that'll be on the market here someday. And yeah, other things like that. And of course, DJI has an announcement coming up in a couple of days on a new drone. I think it's Mavic Air 2. I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with, but we'll see. So, but first, I want to say hi to those of you who are in the chat. And I want to thank you all for joining me this evening or this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are tonight. Yeah, good to see you all. So, Brian, good to see you. You were definitely first by quite a bit. Real Light Pictures, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. You're loving the Alaska footage. Oh, thanks, Real Light. There's more coming. There's more coming, and there will be more coming, especially as we move into spring, because it's going to be nicer, and everybody's going to want to get out. Journeyman, hey, welcome. Flash Focus, you've got a tiny budget. You'd love to invest in a decent lighting kit for video production. Flash Focus, I might have an answer for you, so hang on. Lon Dennard, good to see you. Elsie Productions, good to see you. Mark Lazaby, good to see you from sunny Brisbane. I hope you all are well down there. John Burnett, hey, Oz Beach, Andy, welcome. Man, got a whole bunch of it. Is it a thing that Alaska's, we're like on polar opposite but ends of the world, but we're like just way out there from anybody else. So I feel like Australia and Alaska have some sort of weird kinship going on there. Anyway, and I know New Zealand's down there too, and it's way out there too. And man, someday I want to get down to Australia and New Zealand and visit. It'd be sweet. So Adelaide, South Australia, nice. I just sent a package to a friend in Australia. He lives in Queensland. I can't remember the city, but yeah. So Steve Carpenter, good afternoon or good evening, good day. Man, look at you, Steve. You're on it. So yeah, if you're into photos and videos, the big news is that Canon released or announced their R5 specs, which is insane, like 8K video, full frame, 4K, 120p, just insanely ridiculous specs. The funny thing to me is that a whole bunch of people, because I use Sony and I switched from Canon to Sony a few years ago because Canon kept crippling their cameras and Sony doesn't. So I've had a lot of people ask me if I'm going back to Canon, and I've seen a lot of Sony shooters going, that's it, I'm going back to Canon. But hold on, just a minute. And I'm going to be making a video about this, but you're going to, say you're going to switch back to Canon. I mean, if you already shoot Canon, that's great. But if you're going to switch back to Canon, you're going to sell all your cameras and lenses at a, considerable discount and then invest, I'm guessing, $4,000 to $5,000 for the camera body, another $2,000 to $3,000 for a lens or maybe two. And then shooting 8K sounds great, but we have almost no need for 8K. I can see one or maybe two instances where 8K would come in handy, but beyond that, there's really not a need for 8K. We don't have a lot of 8K TVs on the market, and honestly, almost everything is consumed on this, which for the most part, at most, is a 4K screen. But honestly, it's a 1080 screen. It's a full HD screen. So I I do like the 4K, being able to do some slow motion stuff with 4K. That's nice. I think slow motion is kind of going out of fashion as much as like it was on YouTube, being massively used on everything, all the B-rolls in slow motion. But I like the idea of being able to have some slow motion because there are times when you want it. And then, but just the whole 8K thing is insane. And then 10-bit, yes, I want 10-bit. I really hope that Sony comes out with the A7S III soon and it has 10-bit, 422, 4K at 60p. I would be happy. The whole Canon R5 thing, like, I mean, it's going to be probably an incredible camera, but Canon is notorious for handicapping their camera somewhere. So I'm kind of curious to see where that falls, like whether it's a 8K recording limit of 5 minutes and you can only still record up to 29 minutes and 59 seconds because of those archaic laws that they used to have in the European Union to bring in cameras. It was considered a camera, so taxed at one rate, but if it could record longer than 30 minutes, it was considered a camcorder or a video camera and taxed at a very different and much higher rate. So who knows? I'm curious, Osbeach Andy and Mark Lazenby, did you guys deal with that in Australia too? Did you guys have a separate tax tier system for video cameras versus still cameras? I'm very curious about that. Anyway, so I'm waiting for Sony. I mean, I'm still super happy shooting on the A7 III from 2 years ago. This thing has been such a solid camera for me. It's been great. And it produces great video. So in the end, at the end of the day, what matters is always story over ability of technology to do something insane. If you can tell a good story, honestly, if you shoot it on your phone or anything, then that's going to be what engages people. Now, that being said, I do like gear, and I like to talk about gear, and I like to review gear. And if somebody was to send me a Canon R5 to test out, that'd be fine. My computer would hate me for shooting 8K video, but yeah, anyway. So yeah, other than that, yeah, it's exciting. And then, of course, in a couple of days, we have the DJI Mavic Air 2 announcement. Hopefully that is a good one. I'm really hoping that they really take the Mavic Air and push it up a bit. Rumor is like 34-minute flight time, which would be great. If it's the same size as the Mavic Air, that would be amazing because that was one of my favorite drones. It was so small and so easy to take with me places. And then if it got rid of the Wi-Fi and was OcuSync, that would be fantastic. So, yeah, not to mention, going back to Canon R5, not to mention the fact that if you were to buy a Canon R5 and shoot in 8K, you would have to go buy a $6,000 to $10,000 computer or build a $6,000 computer to be able to handle that footage. Like, even the new Mac Pros, like, I mean, they would handle it, but it would push them a little bit. It's insane. So, I'm still editing on a 1080p monitor. It's an ultra-wide monitor, which I like, but that's what I edit on. It's an old LG from like 6 years ago that I bought at Costco. It was on sale, and not 6 years ago, actually 5 years ago. And I color correct, or made sure it was as color accurate as I could get, and then that's what I still use. So my studio monitors, the speakers. Oh, this is fun. Here, I'll show you. The speakers for my studio monitors, let me switch my view here so you all can see this. See those? You see those speakers? Those are my studio monitors. Those were made, oh wait. Hold on. Sorry, I thought I had switched it. So you see those studio monitors. Those are my speakers that I use to edit audio and mix with and stuff like that. Those were made by a mastering engineer at Capitol Records, hand built in pairs. There's, I don't know, handful of pairs, like 100 something pairs in the world today. I happen to get a pair. They are exceptionally great. I wouldn't say great sounding. They're exceptionally accurate speakers. Very, very accurate. Those things were built in like the 70s. Like, I think he started building them in the 70s, and he kind of finished up building them in the 80s. And old gear, old cameras, man, they still produce great stuff sometimes. It just, yeah. Anyway, so lawn dinner. Okay, I'm going to catch up on the chat here because I've been running my mouth. Real light, Elsie, you're going to wait for Sony. I'm curious to see what Sony's going to come out with. I think Sony's been waiting to kind of see what everybody else is doing, and then they're going to come out with the A7S III now that everybody's kind of put out their cards, is my guess. I don't know. Anyway, bottom line is I'm still going to go make videos and take pictures. Let's see. Real light, you switched from Canon to Sony, and now they come out with the perfect camera. Sony, balls in your court. Yep, real light. The good news is real light that other people will be coming out with the perfect camera too. It's just a matter of time. So, you know, it's cool to see the technology kind of finally get to the place where we all want it to be. Lawn dinner, you went from Nikon to Sony, that and an old Hasselblad. Oh, man, the old Hasselblad cameras. Oh, they took such good, especially the medium format ones. Oh my gosh, they took such great photos. John Burnett, you're not a video shooter anyway. You'll keep your A9. That's a great camera. Great photo camera. Mark Lazenby, exactly. You would have to upgrade TVs, computers, hard drives, etc. As most people, computers would grind to a halt. I know. I get people complain about my videos in 4K that they can't play them in 4K, and that's 4K on YouTube after it's been severely compressed. It's insane. So, real light, the Canon RF lenses are awesome, but huge and expensive. Yes, you are correct, real light. They are expensive. They're amazing lenses, but they are spendy. Sony lenses are spendy, but then Tamron has come out with a whole line of affordable, fantastic lenses for Sony. And I think really, I think the A7 III would have sold really, really well either way, but I think part of what made it such a runaway success was the Tamron 28-75 came out about the same time, and it was like, oh my gosh, full frame and an affordable body that shoots great 4K video and a lens for less than $3,000. It was amazing. But you're right, the Canon RF lenses are stupendous. I mean, the Sony G Master glasses really great too. It may not be the sharpest glass out there anymore because I think Tamron is pretty dang close in most ways, but it definitely is fantastic glass. And Sony's autofocus is killer. I mean, I loved Canon's dual pixel autofocus, but Sony, since they've done the face and eye tracking stuff in the last few sets of cameras, is phenomenal. I mean, I'm using the A6600 right now, and I can see a box around this eye, and it keeps it on this eye the whole time. It's amazing. So, let's see. Mark Lazenby, not to your knowledge, the Oz tax electronic gear is expensive compared to the U.S., and your dollar is tanked compared to the U.S. dollar. Sorry, brother. Yeah, and I know the other problem is that similar to Alaska, you guys have to pay a lot of money to get stuff to you because it has to come by ship or by plane. It's kind of the same thing with us. Yeah, but we do have the saving grace of having the U.S. dollar as our currency still. Let's see. Sensors are already large enough to shoot 8K. It's all about processing and firmware. That's right, Lon. It really is. And that's a massive amount of processing to be able to process 8K. And then process 8K in 10-bit or at also like 4K at higher frame rates in 10-bit. It's a lot of information packed in there. So Journeyman Canon said they will build a camera with everything when hell freezes over. And then they misread the virus. That's awesome. And you're right. That's pretty much that's been part of their business model for decades is like put everything but one thing in there. So it's not a perfect camera. And the irritating thing about Canon is it's obvious that they have the technology to do that. Canon is one of the only companies that develops their own sensors, their own processors, their own everything. Like they build it from beginning to end. It's their stuff. And they do it. They'll do that option in some cameras, but not in others, where other cameras will have these options, but not in the camera that has the other option. It's infuriating when you're like, you could do this. You absolutely can, because you do it on other cameras that are using the same processors, same sensors, but you just won't do it in this one. And it's so irritating. Anyway. Yeah, what do you need? Is it a 42 megapixel? Is it a 42 megapixel camera that you have to shoot 8K? It's like, or 36? Might be 36. I don't remember. Anyway, this technically is a 6K camera. It does shoot 6K in full frame, and then it brings it down to 4K, which is part of the reason the 4K looks really good. Let's see. No, we don't. John Burnett, you have some issues with DJI with its in the news that China is using DJI drones to spy on the United States. Yeah, that's been going around for a long time, and DJI has come really back hard on saying that they're not doing that. But the Chinese Communist Party is not real friendly to, I'm probably going to get this strike on YouTube for that, but not real friendly to being open or transparent about anything. Let's see. Steve Carpenter, those are some awesome builds. About 10K in today's market if you could have them built. For these monitors, let's see. They probably would be, Steve, because the one thing this guy was insanely particular about was matching everything perfectly. So you had a perfectly matched pair. Like I couldn't pair these or mix them up with another pair. He went through so far as to impedance match all the switches and the wires and the drivers. I mean, everything is just ridiculously perfectly matched, and then it's all perfectly time aligned so you get this perfect phase with sound. And yeah, Ceylon, that's what I thought too. I mean, I don't trust the Chinese government, but DJI has been very, very clear that they're not doing that stuff. John Burnett, you want this Tamron 70 to 180? So do I. So bad. In fact, I was doing some shootings for some stuff today, and I wanted it so badly. My name's on the list. I should get the first one that arrives in Alaska. But yeah, May 14th coming up. TikTok. It's getting closer. So hey, Alex. Real Life Pictures, this Tamron lenses are awesome. You pre-ordered the 70 to 180 from Adorama and B&H. First to ship gets your money. Brilliant. I did the same thing, actually, when the 70 to 28 was released. I pre-ordered it on Adorama, BH, and then here, locally. I have my name on the list here locally. And this local store, my local store, got it 2 days before anybody else. And so that's where I went, and that's where I'm going again. So hopefully that holds true. Thanks, Steve. Smash the like button. I appreciate that. 36. That's what I was thinking. Well, technically, Real Light, you can do because this is 24 megapixels. This is a 6K. I guess it's just shy of 6K, but yeah, it's 45 for 8K. It's a lot. If you look at the dimensions of the pixels. I know it's what it comes out to. Like this is 6,000 by 4,000. So whatever 8K ends up being, it's always just a little over. It's like, yeah, but yeah, I think I caught up to the chat. That's amazing. Incredible. So yeah, so I'm curious, how many of you are excited about the Mavic Air 2 coming out? If you plan to get it, let me know in the chat. Also, you take bets on when Sony is going to release the A7S III. Man, I hope it is soon, because I'm kind of dying to get it. And the only reason I want something else is I so desperately want 10-bit color in my main camera. I want 10-bit and 4K 60p. Just purely because I want to be able to do some stuff with color grading that I cannot do in 8-bit. And yeah, so that's it. Yeah, Lon, you're right, because a 12 megapixel camera can shoot 4K. Um, Real light, you're not interested in the 8K, but the 4K 120 sounds awesome. It does, and it's in 10-bit, which I really like, and that's where I am too. Is kind of like I desperately want Sony to come out with a 10-bit color camera. I'm sorry, a 10-bit color camera in this form factor, a small 10-bit color form factor camera with 4K 60. I'd be happy with 4K 120 would be unbelievable and fantastic, but yeah. Thanks, Alex, and you're welcome. Let's see. I'm gonna try and stream more often on the other channel, Alex. So just, but I can't promise when. Let's see. The R5 may give Sony a kick up the rear to get the S3 out. Maybe you would think, but then again, I feel like, and of course, I say this as a YouTube commenter. All the YouTube commenters, every time a new camera comes out that has decent specs, I feel like the first thing everybody goes do, well, how about that, Sony? What are you going to do now? Where's that A7S III? And it's true, we've been waiting for the A7S III for like 2 years, but I think Sony is totally capable of doing it. I remember it was like last year or something when everybody was doing the same thing about Canon. Sony released something, Nikon released something, Fujifilm released something, and everybody was like, oh, Canon's done. They're dead. They got nothing left. They're out. I think it was when they released the RP or the EOS R, and everybody was kind of like, yeah, it's just nothing. Can't do anything. Can't even do 24p. And then the R5 comes out. And the 1DX Mark III, which is also a great camera, also very expensive, 10 grand. It just, yeah. But hopefully this will motivate Sony to get the A7S III out. So, LC Productions, Mavic Air 2, you're waiting for the Mavic Pro 3. Yeah, I would love to see the Mavic Pro 3. Originally when I got the Skydio, I planned to sell my Mavic Pro 2, but I'm holding on to it because there's a few things that it does better than the Skydio that especially depending on weather and darkness, obviously. So I'm holding on to that. I love the Skydio. I've been using it every time I go out lately. It's fantastic. But if the Mavic Pro 3 can get on par with the video quality of the Phantom 4 Pro 2, that would be phenomenal. Then I would have to sell my 2 and maybe get the 3. So we'll see. But the Mavic Air 2 can show some tech that the Mavic 3 Pro 3 might get. That's true, Real Light. You've got a great point there. Let's see. Vaughn says Sony knows what you know. Few have 8K monitors or TVs. You bought the 82-inch Samsung Q900 8K on a whim? Holy crap, man. Dear Lord, does it burn your eyeballs? Good grief. Hey, Alaskan Outsider, Josiah, good to see you. Sorry, I got your text. I haven't had a chance to respond. I will, I promise. So, Alex, for the most part, most of those videos on my other channel were filmed with a GoPro, a phone of some sort, iPhone usually. And or the DJI Osmo Action filmed pretty much all of the videos on the other channel. Yeah, that's what did it. So, let's see. Yeah, Steve Carpenter, that's a great point. Lon, what do you watch in 8K? I'm very curious. Realize if the Mavic Pro 3 combines optical zoom with the larger sensor, that'd be great. A bump in sensory size, too much to ask. I don't think we'll get bigger than a 1-inch sensor. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. I think they would say something like that for the next Inspire or Phantom 5 if they're never going to release. But I'm kind of with Lon is like the mechanical shutter 4K 60 would be amazing. And I'm that's kind of where I think they would go to, is better 4K quality, because the 4K quality on the Mavic Pro 2 is not on par with the Phantom 4 Pro. So I think they can improve that and get better quality there. I think that'd be no issue at all for them to do that. I think 4K 60 is certainly possible with the Umbrella processor they're using in the Mavic Mini now, and I'm assuming they'll use in the Mavic Air. That would be awesome. I would love to see that stuff. And if they can keep the 10-bit color, be amazing. So, John Burnett, you're looking to get an action camera, Osmo Pocket or GoPro 8. What are you going to use it for? Depending on what you're going to use it for, definitely changes my recommendations. If you haven't seen my Osmo Action versus GoPro 8, I kind of had it with GoPro. I had so much problems with my GoPro 7 and the 2 GoPro 8s I've had, and then I have a lot of friends, a few friends that I know personally that have had very similar or other problems with their Hero 7s, so much that they just got rid of them. They quit using them, and so, yeah, that's it. John Burnett, underwater. Okay, so for underwater, I would go either with the GoPro 8 or the Osmo Action. The problem with underwater shooting with both of those cameras is that you cannot, don't do the Pocket, because the Pocket's the little gimbal one, unless you get the housing for it, which would probably be good for underwater stuff. But the problem with the GoPro Hero 8, GoPro Hero 7, basically every GoPro since the Hero 5, and then the Osmo Action, is that there's no way to change the settings. Basically, once you're underwater, you're locked into whatever settings you have. So you either have to shoot on complete auto, set it on the underwater setting, and just hope you get some good footage, which you can. But that's the thing that irritates me with the GoPro and the Action, Osmo Action. If you have, like if you go back to the GoPro Hero 4, you could change settings underwater because you had the buttons you could press. That all kind of went away with the Hero 5. So, but I would go with either one. Personally, I like the Osmo Action better, but that's because I've had some really bad experiences with the GoPro Hero 8 and the GoPro Hero 7. So my GoPro here, I just sent one of my GoPros back, the first GoPro Hero 8 back to GoPro because it cracked the very first time I dropped it. It broke. So I sent it back to them. They replaced it, sent me a new one, and I sold that new one because it was the same thing. I was having problems with the SD cards and just so on and so forth. So I was just, forget it. Let's see. Alex, we don't have dolphins up here, and most of our seawater is not clear enough to really see it. Plus, it's brutally cold. If you're talking to me, I assume. Let's see. Yep. Yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how the Mavic Air 2 release goes. I don't know. Well, with everything else going on, it's going to be interesting. John Burnett, have I heard of Altec's underwater camera housings? Yes, I have. And from everything I've heard, I haven't used them personally. Hey, Brad Alston, welcome. They're pretty good. And if I get the chance to, I would like to get one. I was looking at them the other day. Like anything, you've got to be careful. You've got to make sure you're not, that it's working and not abused and taken care of and stuff like that. But I really like the shooting with a dome. And one thing I've wanted to do for a long time is shoot a glass or a time lapse going from underwater in one of our like super clear pristine mountain lakes up out of the water. I think it would be great. And so I was looking, Altec's domes was one of the ones I was looking at to see, because then you get that nice ring of water. You can see the water line real clear. And I just thought, I think it'd be cool. But so from what I've heard, they're good. On dinner, you're all meh about the Mavic Air 2. Meh. Yeah, that's kind of where I am too. I mean, I'm pretty happy with the drones I've got. If it does something amazing, I might think about it. But honestly, usually the stuff that they throw in to kind of make it sell is the stuff that I don't really care about. It's like the little knickknacks and bells and whistles that don't ever use. Like the Mavic Air 1, it was like, Asteroid and some of the other quick shots that it had in there, which some of them were useful. Most of them weren't. I would never use most of them. So, and gesture control, that was kind of a big whatever. I used it a couple of times. My kids used it a few times for fun, but it just it really wasn't. I mean, it was cool, but I wish they had developed it more. Yeah, Lon, exactly. Mark Lazenby, a few surf photographers here in OZ use Aquatech housings. Is Aquatech the one I'm thinking of? It might be. I know I've looked at Autex before. That is not the ones I was looking for. Oh yeah, Aquatech. Those are really good ones. Autex is like this kind of moldable covers, where Aquatech is hard, and that's what I really like, the Aquatech ones. They're expensive, but they're good. They're super good. And so if you're gonna do a lot of underwater stuff, then Aquatech is probably the way to go. If you're not going to do a lot of underwater stuff, the Outtech stuff is fine. But yeah, Aquatech is like next level. Outtech is, I don't want to say beginner because it's nice, but it doesn't have a lot of the features that the Aquatech stuff has. Let's see. Mavic Air 2 uses DJI Fly app. No good for now. Is it the DJI Fly app? Is that that's the same as the Mavic Mini, right? Or is it? Yeah, that's a bummer if it does. On the talk is that it'll use both apps. Still meh. Yeah, it's funny. That's what I keep thinking about the GoPro Hero 8. Every time I walk by one in Costco or something, they're on sale at Costco right now for $270, I think. And I was like, walk by, I was like, meh. I mean, it's nice. It comes with a case and a few other odds and ends. I was almost tempted, but at the same time, I was like, nope. No. Anyway, the other thing I had trouble with GoPro is I had the most trouble ever connecting to the app with GoPro all the time. Whereas the Osmo Action, it has connected every time, no problems. Anyway. The DJI Fly app is getting a big update in May, supposedly. Well, hopefully that's good. So, Mark Lazenby, for underwater scuba, you use the Naughty Cam housing? Mark, I didn't know you did underwater stuff. I've been wanting to do some more underwater stuff. Not that I want to get in the water up here, but I want to put my camera underwater. None of those are what I'm looking for. Oh, there we go. I can't remember if I've looked at the Naughty Cam stuff before. Oh, yes, I have looked at these guys. They are fantastic. I would love to have one of their housings. And it's one of those things where it's expensive, but you're only going to buy it once. And that's the only thing I worry about with the Outex ones, is that you're going to buy it more than once, because it is what it is. So, but yeah, I really like these. These housings are really nice. I was looking to see if they do have the port. That's what I want, the big dome. I want the big dome. It'd be fun. Mark, do you use the dome? Do you use a dome when you do it, or do you just do normal stuff? Osmo Action's great little action camera. It really is, Elsie. It's hard to beat, man. For the features you get on that thing, it's really hard to beat. I hope the Action 2 comes out soon. I would really love to have a few upgrades on it. Would be amazing. John Burnett, the other reason you like the Outex is for dusty and rainy times. Yeah, John, that's true. It's a really lightweight. If it's not strictly for underwater stuff, then that'd be a great one to get for like going in really inclement weather. Be great. Mark Lassaby, you just need a good quality dry suit. Yes, I do, and I do not have one. You'd love to dive in Alaska. It is. There's some great stuff up here to dive. There's some great areas to dive. But yes, it is extremely cold. I used to snorkel out of Puget Sound off of Washington, which is Pacific Ocean. It's cold. You jump in, ice cream headache, your head would freeze, and then after a couple of minutes, you kind of like, go numb. So, let's see. Jake Sloan, off subject. Do I play my guitar much? And do you do anything with it for music in any of your videos? Brad Alston, yeah. I do play my guitar fairly often. I'm actually more of a keyboard player. That was my first instrument, but I do play it here and there. Right now, I'm kind of having to rehumidify the wood. It got a little dried out this winter, and so I've been nursing it back to a healthy spot, so I haven't been playing it much lately. And I have not used it. I've not made any music for my own videos yet. I would like to at some point. I would like to make my own music for my videos in some cases. Lon, you'll follow us in the sub. Yeah, I might be in that sub with you, man. You use the WWL, which is the wet wide lens. Nice. Steve Carpenter, that's why you say in SoCal for diving warm water. Yeah, exactly. So there's times when I was traveling when I was a little younger. I did a lot of diving in tropical areas, and that was fun. I also got stung by jellyfish like crazy. That stinks, but whatever. LC Productions, is there a dome for the Osmo Action? Good question, Elsie. You know what? I don't know if there is. But you would think that somebody... There is. Well, maybe. Yeah, there is. There are domes out there for it. Wow, man, I might have to, because I have the dome for the GoPro Hero 7, which I like. It's fun, great, but there is, although it looks like everywhere is out of stock. Of course, everything's out of stock lately if it was ever manufactured in China. But there are domes, like Telson makes a dome for, it's like $50. Not bad. Comes with a floaty handle for the Osmo Action. Nice. That's cool. I have to look at getting one of those. Let's see. I use the Polar Pro one, Mark Lasby. Let's see. Brad Alston, you always wanted to learn guitar, keyboard. You definitely pick up an instrument. It's a great thing to do, to stretch yourself, to learn, and to it's amazing what it does for your muscle memory and coordination. So let's see. Real light. Do I think the Tamron 70-180 will fit on the Ronin SC with an A7 III? I think it'll be close. I've no doubt it will work on the Weeble S. The Ronin SC, it's going to be pushing it, but I will try it when I get mine. I will be trying it, just to see, because I'm curious about that. I don't think it'll balance correctly, so I think the Ronin SC will be pushed. The motors will be pushed, because already just this with the 28-75, you had to push it far enough back that it would, have to pull the eye cup off. So maybe with some counterweights, it might with some counterweights. probably would. The lens is really light, so that's really good. I'm really excited about that, being able to use it with a gimbal. Exciting. Although it extends out, so you'd have to rebalance it potentially, or balance it halfway. Let's see. Go Dome, Polar Pro for action. Mark. Not bad. You're getting reverse homesick. 7 weeks. Oh, yeah. It's too long. Let's see, Lon, you won't even go into Lake Superior, was stationed in northern Germany, and said no to the North Sea as well. Brr. I don't blame you, Lon. Not at all. I do not blame you one bit. Let's see. At least, Lon, on the GoPro Dome, it's over there. I don't want to go get it. But on the GoPro Dome, it has a square part that you stick the GoPro in, and then you clip it on, so it seals that. So the dome stays full of air. It doesn't fill up with water. And that's part of the problem, because the Osmo has the round front. And I'm assuming that the Osmo domes, you actually thread the camera in, it looks like. So, but a lot of the other accessories work, just not the domes, because the dome was, like the Polar Pro Dome, at least the one I have, won't work with the GoPro Hero 8 either, because the lens is different than the lens on the Hero 7, 5, 6, and 7. So, Joseph Talbert, hey, welcome to the stream. I live in South Central. I live in Anchorage, and so, pretty South Central. And but I do travel a fair amount for work and for fun, because it's a beautiful state. It's a huge state, and I like to try and go out and see it. Alex, as beauty face capture ideal for taking pictures with? I have no idea what that is. If it says beauty face, I would guess probably not, but maybe. I have to look it up here real quick. Y'all chat amongst yourselves while I look up beauty face capture. I cannot find it, so I do not know. Brad, you're grateful you can work from home. Yeah, I am too, man. I'm glad I can work from home. I know there's a lot of people who aren't in that position. I'm glad I'm able to. So I'm glad you're able to too. And we're getting to the end of this. We are getting to the end of it. It's coming down to the end. So thank goodness. Let's see. Real light pictures. Some video shooters don't care about the flip forward screen like the Canon R's have, but I really wish Sony would start using it. So real light, I'm going to grab this. Have you seen this? I did a video about it. And I know it's not the same as a flip out screen, but it is really nice. You put it on your hot shoe. You have 3 cold shoe mounts. Flip your screen out like this. Live tutorials. And then all of a sudden, of course the camera's not going to know what to focus on. But there, you can see what's on the screen right here. So it's a fix. I've really liked having it, honestly, way more than I thought I would. It's nice, because then I can stick a light on one, a mic on the other, and off I go. So, but I do wish they would do a regular flip-out screen. It would be amazing. Going from regular to underslung on some of the heavier lenses always covers the screen. Having a side screen would solve this completely. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, you're right. That is where I do like what the Weebill S has done with their wireless transmission stuff. But even that still has some bugs that they need to work out. I mean, it works pretty well, but it's not 100%. It works 90-something% of the time. It works more than my GoPro did. I should stop talking about GoPro. Lon, you were just looking at them, and you're right. Looking at what? Oh, the domes. Yeah, yeah, they're yeah. That's another thing. GoPro just anyway. Joseph, you go back and forth to Juneau in the summertime. Awesome. Are you going to be coming up this summer or not? Because I know a lot of stuff has changed for people that came up here temporarily in the summer. Steve Carpenter, thank you. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that, man. A lot, actually, more than you know. I appreciate it a lot. So, let's see. John Burnett, you're a truck driver in the middle. Let's see. Realize, yes, I did, but you don't vlog. Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah, when I'm doing the gimbal stuff, I do end up using the image transmission system from the Weeble S a lot, or I HDMI cable into my little screen that I've got. So Alex, you own a full HD. Huh. I think the beauty face feature would just like smooth out all your skin and stuff like that. Is my guess. I tend to stay away from that stuff. I try and stay more toward the real type of stuff. Not real. Well, yeah, real. Realism and, what it actually looks like. By the way, is anybody else's hair getting to the point like where it's starting to really drive you nuts? My hair is so long, and they're talking about opening up barbershops up here again next week, but this is the longest I've gone without a haircut in a very long time. And yeah. So look at that in all its glory. Just, ugh. So let's see. Man, Steve Carpenter, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I really do hope you guys are all well and staying safe during this time. And still enjoying life as you can. Lon, you have clippers? I have clippers. But yeah. Brad Alston, your hair is too long, but still short. He just ordered a haircutting cordless razor today. Oh, I don't want to go down that path, but I might have to here pretty soon. Eesh. Joseph Talbert, not this summer. You go through mother and she works in tourism. Everything got hit hard. Yeah, Joseph, it did. It is going to be an interesting year in Alaska to see what happens, because oil prices are way down, which is one of the main pillars of the Alaskan economy. Tourism is almost canceled for the year. I mean, it's still happening, but none of the big stuff like Princess Cruises, they just shut everything down for the year. And then fishing, which is another big part of our industry up here, is way down because the Asian fish markets are very, very slow right now. So it's going to be interesting. Steve Carpenter, I'll let you know. You said your weed whacker up to me. I appreciate that, but I'll see if I can wait a week and get a haircut. Thanks though. Thanks for the offer. I do have scissors and I do have clippers. I just haven't done it yet. So I keep hoping and waiting. You're a little scared of your wife cutting your hair the next week or so, Brad. Good luck to you. That's exactly right, John. Almost all the cruise ships have basically canceled the season, and they're a big part of it. So, and then with air travel being way down, it's going to be rough. Lon? Yeah, oil dipped to negative territory. Not the Alaskan crude oil, which is ranked differently, but oil, I mean, it's down no matter what. It's way down. So, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that, because otherwise I'll start getting into the politics of the current Alaska political scene, and I'm not going that direction. I'm not doing it on this channel. So, your local Sam's Club in Westman has gas at $1.25 a gallon. Okay, so we produce gas. We produce oil and natural gas, and we have a refinery, and everything here gets shipped out, and then we bring stuff back in. So we are still paying $2 something a gallon, or actually, I think we finally dipped below $2. We're at $1.89 right now. $1.89 for regular unleaded. Anyway, Alex, would you rather always be itchy or always be naked, or is it a tough decision to I'm not going to answer that question. It's so far out of left field. Oh, man. Mark, you've been told that your trip to Alaska and Canada in September will probably be canceled. Oh, man. Don't say that. September's a long way away. Just hold on. Were you coming up here on a cruise? Because you could come up here a different way and just hang out with me. You know. Anyway, if not, I hope you can rebook for next year. Because I throw this out a lot, but anytime anybody's coming to Alaska, let me know, because if there's a chance that we can meet up, and if there's a chance I could take you some of the places that I go and show, take you with me, then I would love to. But yeah, anyway. Steep and Deep Outdoors says I should use a drone to cut my hair. Oh, YouTube gold. Yes. It would be gold because of what my head and face and hair would look like in the aftermath of trying to use a drone to cut my hair. Oh, that'd be horrible. Let's see. You ship everything in here in VA. Yeah, Brad. That's true. You got gas for under $1, Lon? Oh, I know this. We're supposed to be talking about photos and video camera stuff, but that's not fair. Under $1 is, good Lord, that's cheap. Congratulations. You must be very proud. That's really cheap. I remember those prices when I was a much younger person. I was doing bear viewing tours, bluffing grizzly bears off my boat, and jumping gravel bars and downed trees in my jet boat while having a boatload of tourists from New York or California or wherever they were from, and showing them a very authentic experience of Alaska, with an insane mountain man nut 20-year-old too. So that's very, very close encounters. Steve Carpenter, come to SoCal down to $2.59 a gallon. Ouch! I can't remember if we're down to $1.89 or if we're in the $2 something range. I gotta look. Now you got me curious, because I just know it's cheaper. I can't remember if it's how much cheaper. I'm pretty sure. No, we're at $2.89. $2.89, $2. We're right around the $2 mark, depending on where you go. So, Steve Carpenter, yeah, and Lon's right. Some of that is taxes, yes, and I guess our gas tax up here is about to go up, which is a great time to. Yep, not gonna do it. Not gonna go there. So yeah, I'm really torn about getting the Mavic Air 2 just to put it through its paces, do a review of it on the channel here, test it. One of the things I really want to start doing is doing long-term reviews and, rough reviews. Not rough, but, well, yeah, rough. I want to start testing the ability. What got me thinking about it was this camera. Because I've had this camera for since it came out, whenever that was. And it has gone with me through, minus 20, minus 30, minus 40, out into ice caves that were dripping water down left and right through rain and snow and blizzards. And it's been not underwater, but it has been wet as I've been shooting stuff inside of ice caves or, in around glaciers, lakes, and all that kind of stuff. It's been on rough boat rides. It's been in little airplane rides and all that. And so it got me thinking, not a lot of YouTubers do long-term reviews, and especially like toughness reviews. How tough is this thing and how much abuse has it been able to handle? And so I want to start doing that. And then part of thinking that the Mavic Air 2 is coming out, I might try it out. Because like the Mavic Pro 2, that I've flown that thing in ridiculously cold temperatures, 20 below, 30 below, 40 below, It's handled it fine. I've flown it in rain and snow. It's handled it all fine. And so it's a tough drone. I'm kind of curious if the Mavic Air 2 can match it. Mavic Air 2 definitely had problems with the cold. When I had the Mavic Air original, it had problems with the cold. So anyway, so yeah, some of that'll be coming on the channel as I get that going and as I kind of figure out how I'm going to do that. But it'll be toughness reviews, and it should be fun to watch, more entertaining maybe. I haven't really figured that part out yet, but it'll be interesting. But it's also true that like people want to know if they're going to invest a couple $1,000s or $500 or $600 in something, is it going to be worth it? Like, is it going to be a piece of junk and break in a month, or is it going to actually withstand the tests of time? I can safely say my A7 III, and I know other people have had problems with theirs, but has stood the test of time. And you probably can't see it. Let's see, focus. There we go, right there. See that? That's a dent in the body from when this dropped. It's fine. Just keeps going. So, yeah. Steep and Deep Outdoors, 100% yes on long-term reviews. I'm tired of I've used it for a week. It's the best reviews on YouTube. Man, there's a lot of those. Holy cow, when Canon released the A5 specs, my subscription feed was like, VR5, all the way down the road. I was just, And I remember that about when Polar Pro released their variable ND filter. Like, that was all my subscription feed was about how great the variable ND filter was. And honestly, that turned me off of it for a long time. And then I finally got one and tried it out. And they're good. They're expensive, but they're good. But when it first came out, I was just like, nope, just no. And a lot of it was because of that. So yeah, Steep and Deep, I think I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to go through like the Ronin SC. I've had the Ronin SC since it came out. Still a great gimbal, still going strong. The Weeble S, I've had that since it came out. It's still a great gimbal. It's still going strong. And I've taken both of those things in some pretty harsh climate conditions. My Osmo Action, it's been through a lot. My DJI Mavic 2 has been through a lot. And so I think I'm going to start shifting the way I do reviews to more that a bit, just to give people a really real world look of like, hey, is this thing durable? Is it going to last? Or is it a piece of crap? And because ultimately, like, if I'm going to recommend a product, I want it to be good. And if you're going to buy one through an affiliate link I give you or something, which, helps me out a lot, but I don't want to recommend stuff that's junk. So like the little slider video I did, I've had that little slider since November, and I messed with it, and I used it a lot because I wanted to see if it actually is any good. And it is. It is good. I like it a lot. So, yeah. It probably hurt me, so I'll probably have to do like a first look review so that I can get something out there, within the first week or 10 days. And then, but those will be shorter, just kind of a sum up, and then, do a follow-up of like, hey, 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, whatever. How does it hold up? So, hey, Mark H., welcome. Your Polar Pro variable NDs for the Mavic 2 Pro are on the way. Cool, Lon. I'm curious to see what you think of them when they get in. Hey, J.R. Smith, welcome. Let's see. The problem with new gear is the new gear fever. That's why everybody rushes to make the newest reviews. Yeah. So you'd like to see the How Does It Hold Up review too. All right. Maybe my channel is going to become the How Does It Hold Up review channel. How's that sound for a channel name? I know why people do it is because there's a massive spike in search traffic anytime something new is released. If a bunch of people didn't get it before anybody else, the pre-release stuff. So everybody tries to jump on that trend to get views, to get clicks, and to maybe get subscribers. But it does bother me that a lot of people like, what was it? They jump out there, they review a product, and then that's it. You never hear about it again. And a lot of times I never see them use it again, which to me is, I don't want to say disingenuous, but it's a little bothersome that they don't actually use it. For me, the Weeble S is It's my favorite gimbal for run and gun shooting. If I'm gonna grab a gimbal to go do something with, that's my gimbal I'm gonna use. The Ronin SC is a great gimbal. I love the Ronin SC for tracking stuff, for doing tracking shots of anything, and for doing motion time lapses. It's better than anything else on the market. So I have both gimbals still. Originally, I wasn't going to do that. I was going to sell the one and keep the Weeble S or whatever. And but then after using both, I was like, it's kind of the same thing with the Skydio and the Mavic 2 Pro. Like they both do some things really well, and they don't do other things really well. And so having both is kind of nice. Would I be happy with the Ronin SC if I didn't have the Weeble S? Yes, I would. It's a great gimbal. Once you tune it up and get it set, it's fantastic. So, and they're both still going strong. So I will, Steep and Deep Outdoors. Thanks. I appreciate that feedback from you guys, because there's a lot of things I'm mulling over with my channel, my content, the stuff I do here, and what sort of things I can do to help out. I struggle with being a review person for gear all the time. I feel like that's what I do a lot of. I do a lot of that. I want to do more other stuff too, and I will be. But also gear reviews. I mean, I enjoy it. I just don't want to be, it's just another gear review channel. And so I've been trying to figure out and think about ways that I can do those things, but also bring you or whoever views the videos a lot of value, because I feel there's a ton of review channels out there, and I don't want to be just another review channel. I would like to bring some value to you. So anyway. So I appreciate the feedback. Long story short. Mark H, weather is nice today, 60s and sunny. Nice. It's 40s and sunny-ish up here right now. There's a lot of YouTube stuff more than 2 years old. That's true, John. That's very true. Vaughn, yep, that's true. They don't do a full review of the product and its features. It's like they just kind of do enough to get people interested in buying it. I feel like that's what happens a lot of times. So, Devic Media, the Ronin SC, J.R. Smith, your Ronin SC is still running strong with my settings. Thank you for that. I'm glad to hear that. I still use my settings on mine. I haven't changed anything since I put those videos out. So Devic Media, I love the Ronin SC. It's a great gimbal. If you're using smaller lightweight stuff, smaller lightweight mirrorless cameras, smaller lenses, it's fantastic. The tracking on the Ronin SC, if you're going to use object tracking or the motion tracking where you kind of set up points where you want the camera to go to, is great. The motion time-lapse and the time-lapse features on the Ronin SC are fantastic. And that's where DJI is still better than anything else I've used, is their intelligent features are phenomenal. The Weeble S is definitely a stronger gimbal. It has better, more, I don't want to say better, but it has more powerful motors. And can handle bigger loads. But the tracking stuff, which you need the image transmission stuff or like the motion time-lapse stuff, it is not as good and not as fluid or as easy to use as the DJI stuff is. So that's where they stand. Great gimbals. Both of them are great gimbals. If you had to pick one and you could do the weight on it, I would do the Ronin SC, just because of the smart features. If you need something with a little heavier setup, then the Weeble S is the way to go, almost to the Weeble Lab. So hope that helps you, Devic Media. Let's see. Drop one off Thunderbird Falls, Mike Booth. Yeah, I think some people would get mad at me if I did that, but I do have some places I want to drop some things, so. Mark H, you like my drone footage in the field? Thanks, Mark. So one thing I am going to be doing, especially as I'm going into summer, is my videos, even the review videos, will be moving more into a storytelling video of I want to take you through the journey of where we're going, what I'm doing, and stuff like that, while reviewing the gear that I review, whatever that might be, or showing you tips and techniques of different things I'm working on. So. Chris Tejan says, broadcasting from a remote part of the world has it. as you do has its own intrinsic value no matter what else you do. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, and I appreciate that. And that's one of the reasons I started doing stuff the way I was doing it and do it where I go out somewhere is I have this incredible backdrop of the state of Alaska, which is amazing and incredible scenery. And it's a videographer and photographer and drone pilot's playground because it's just everywhere you look is phenomenal scenery. And so I thought, as I was starting to do reviews and stuff, I was like, what is going to make me different than anybody else? Because there's a lot of people reviewing stuff. I was like, well, one, not very many people have access to the scenery that I do if I'm doing a tutorial on how to fly drones or how to use drone video to enhance a story or whatever it is. So that's why I started doing that. And I will be doing that more, especially now. We're kind of in that in-between season. But as soon as I can, and I'll be going out again and doing more out stuff. So I shot so much stuff in an ice cave this year. I went to this ice cave probably 7 times. I shot tons of stuff down in it, and you will be seeing some of that footage coming up on my A7 III, like long-term review. But yeah, the amount of times I was in a glacier ice cave this winter is kind of ridiculous, actually. So, excuse me. Devic Media says, thanks. You've got the Ronin SC a few days ago. Used it yesterday with Sony a6400 18-105 f4. Doing editing of the video and post on YouTube. Fantastic. Devic, which light would I recommend for YouTube? Where are you based? Because, yeah, that's a big question. Probably the most versatile light you could buy right now is this one, the Falcon Eyes. What is it? RX 18 TDX. Oh, you're in Australia? I'm sure they have it there, somewhere. But the Falcon Eyes RX 18 TDX is, I have one, and that's the light that goes with me out and about all of the time. It's really lightweight. It's really small. It's waterproof. It can be battery powered if you want to be. It has to be V-mount batteries, which are kind of big and expensive, but it can be. And it goes from daylight to tungsten, so it's bicolor, really bright. And it has some softbox options with it, or you can get softbox options with it that make it a really versatile light. But the whole thing is really small and compact and easy to take with you. And so that, if you're looking for one light that you can kind of get away with doing a lot of stuff with, I would start there. And I don't think it's too expensive. No more expensive than like the Godox with the softbox is. So, Mark Lazenby. Have my settings changed much for photo and video over the time I've had my A7 III? That's a great question, Mark. And I've been planning on doing a video, how do you do it, about my settings. They have not changed much. I found a lot of the settings I really liked early on, and I've pretty much stuck with it. The reason I do that, I do heavily play with the settings in the beginning, but once I find settings I like or like well enough, I pretty much stick to it. Because it's one less thing I have to think about and learn or figure out or remember every time I go out on the field. And especially when it's cold, you don't want to be messing around trying to remember what button does what or how to get to something. And so I've got kind of all my custom buttons set up and everything. And then even my commercial work, like I set both this and my A6600 up the same to where like my memory 2 is 4K, 100 megabits, 24p, 50 FPS at whatever the lowest aperture I can go is, and then I can tweak the aperture from there and tweak the white balance from there. And then number 1 is 1080. Same thing, not slow motion or anything like that. And then I leave the movie mode in 1080 120 in case I do want slow motion. The reason I do that is because number 1 is 1080 slow motion. Yeah. Because if I shoot pretty much everything in 4K, because you can punch and reframe if you want. And then with when you do want or need slow motion, it's just click the dial over 1, slow motion, shoot, and back. And then, yeah. And then photo mode, everything I shoot everything in RAW and edit it, get proper exposure and stuff like that. But yeah, my settings have not changed much. Once I kind of figured out how I wanted to use the camera and work with it, it's stayed the same. So I do need to do that video. Maybe that'll be next week's video. Let's see. Mark H, which wireless microphone do you use in the field the most? I use the Rode Wireless Go the most. It is just so small, it's so compact, and so easy to use. It's really, really great. I have used where is it? It's the Asden microphone. I use that fairly frequently too, but I tend to use that more when I'm in office spaces doing client work because it's a little more solid connection wise. It's a little more power and stuff. But yeah, I use the Rode Wireless Go too, so I use them in conjunction sometimes. Rode Wireless Go is such a fantastic kit. I'm really hoping that DD comes out with something similar because it's just so good. That size, that form factor. Let's see. Alex, it'd be cool if I found cool rocks, minerals, gems during my trip out to the cave. Man, I'm always hoping to find a big gold nugget or something out there, but so far, not yet. You would think I'm going to these places that have been under ice for thousands of years, and now they're out. You would think there's got to be something to find down in there somewhere. So far, I haven't found anything. So, but yes, it would be cool. I would be okay with that. Make for a great video too. John Burnett, thanks for tuning in. I'm about to wrap up the stream too, but I appreciate you, man. Thanks for tuning in here. I appreciate it a lot. Let's see. Mark Lazenby, which profile do I shoot on video again? So I shoot in picture profile 1, but it's a heavily modified picture profile 1. Extremely modified. And that is the only thing, Mark. Actually, it's a great question. Last week, I spent about a half a day just going through picture profile 1 settings and tweaking and changing and messing around with stuff and trying stuff to see if I could find something I liked better than my settings I do have now. And I haven't really. I've debated about whether to share those settings or not because it's kind of my own custom setup to maybe push the Sony colors, which are really good and accurate the way they are. But the way the highlights were handled, I didn't like that so much. I kind of messed around with those to pull the highlights back a bit, and then pushed it just a touch warmer. Probably because I shot Canon for a long time. So, Devik, the EOS R5 is going to be a phenomenal camera. It's going to be expensive, and you're not really going to be able to shoot 8K as much as you think because almost nothing is 8K or can handle the 8K footage. So, but it's going to be a great camera, and I'm hoping that means Sony puts out the A7S III with some pretty beefy specs on it soon. So, Tunichi from Johannesburg, South Africa. Welcome, friend. It's good to have you here. I have friends that live just outside Joburg. So, haven't ever made it there yet, but someday I will. Micah Mia says I should create online training classes. Micah, that is in the works. It is in the works. So, yeah, should be fun once I get them out there. Journeyman, meteorites? No meteorites yet, Journeyman. But we have had some meteors that have landed up here. Like years back, there was a huge one that flew down. It crashed and exploded over one of our major main highways, and they found fragments and pieces of it embedded in the highway. I saw the explosion because it lit the entire night sky up in the winter like it was broad daylight. But yeah, that was maybe a once in a lifetime thing. That was really weird. Brett Alston, speaking of 8K, Jake Sloan, he just bought the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra that has 8K, but not sure how good it is as of yet. So I've heard good things about it, but then I've also seen some very frustrated people with it. So, Brett Alston, you can't believe you bought a cell phone that costs more than your laptop? Oh, brother, let me tell you, it was yes, I have not, and I struggle with going, yeah, I'm going to spend $1,500 or $1,200 on a phone. It's just, oh my gosh. Devik Media, do I have any passive income on the side other than YouTube? Little bits of stuff, not passive stuff, Devik, no. YouTube is the thing that I'm working toward becoming a full-time YouTuber, and then and some other things. And down the road, there will be other things I'll be working on with passive income, because you should definitely diversify your income streams. If anything that has happened recently has taught all of us is that diversified income streams are great. it takes a lot of work to get to where you can diversify your income streams. So I'll be doing some stuff like that down the road. But YouTube and video work and photo work is something I'm going to do. And one of the passive income streams I'm going to be working on soon is stock imagery, stock video, stock photo. I just haven't quite gotten to that point yet, but I'm working on it. I have a ton of images and video that I need to do. So have a good one, Alex. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm glad, Brad. I'm glad it's a nice cell phone. All right, folks. J.R. Smith, who's been the major influence on my videography career? Ooh, man, that's a good one. So like many people, I started out wanting to be like Casey Neistat when I started doing YouTube stuff. For videography and stuff, man, that's a hard one to say. I really like a lot of people. I have to think about that one, J.R. Smith. That's really good. But yeah, I like Peter McKinnon's stuff quite a bit. A little less so lately, but I really liked it early on. I like Sidney Johnson's stuff quite a bit. I like Chris Brockhurst's stuff quite a bit. I like Jevon Dovey's stuff a fair amount. I like Cody Blue. I like his stuff quite a bit. Who else? Dunna did it. I like his stuff, although I'm not very similar to him, but I do like his stuff. And then, but yeah, I really have to think about who's really influenced me the most. That's a hard one. I pull influences from a lot of different places, I guess. So Mark, stock photos sound good. Yeah, they can be very good. It takes a while to build up, but I think once you get there, it helps a lot. So Mark Lazenby, as Amazon's cutting affiliate fees, they're still not the worst. Like they're still okay for affiliates. I think it was bad timing on their part to do it then, but what are you gonna do? That's why you diversify your income, because we are playing in other people's sandboxes. So and that's part of the reason I'll work on developing online courses and other stuff like that too. And if you want to be part of my Patreon, there's a link in the description. You can support me on Patreon if you want to, and you'll see more of the behind the scenes footage, more drone footage that I don't post on YouTube here. I am and will be putting that stuff up in Patreon for anybody that wants to see a lot more Alaska footage and some of the other crazy shenanigan things that happens behind the scenes. So Brad Allston, have a great night, brother. Thank you. Have a good one. Stay safe, man. Stay safe. So with that, I do have to get going because I have something else I got to run to, and I got to drive across town to do it. But it's been great hanging out with you all tonight, and I really enjoy this time. Thank you all for being here. I will see you again soon. Next week, same place, same time, here live streaming. And until then, I'll see you in the videos that come out between now and then. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for your support. Thanks for watching, subscribing, being part of the community. I appreciate it a lot. Until then, cheers.